when you step on the field, just your presence, like going full out, being a dog on the field, like knowing that you're going against somebody on the other side that's trying to take your head off, you're trying to take their head off, and knowing that you have to win. So that's what I think when he means by grown man on the field.
Just looking at how the defense performed there this past week, just where do you want to see the improvement going into UT Martin? Where did things kind of fall off there, maybe in that second half, fourth quarter?
We need to get off the field on third downs and stop them and stop the run earlier on the first and second downs. That's what I feel like we need to do. Moving into UT Martin, I feel like we need to do better coverage-wise. It was a lot of miscommunication in the Kansas game, and I think that comes with all the new players that come on the field. They said the statistic was like we have 70% of new players starting on our defense now, and that's a big deal. They have to learn the playbook fast and get into the games and perform. And I think that's where we came up short in Kansas.
Hey, can you talk a little bit about, you got Tennessee Martin, a team that you played in playoffs, and you got a little bit of a nice little rivalry going with these guys, and a familiar opponent kind of for the second one.
Yeah, UT Martin, we compete every year against them. It's always a good game. I'm looking forward to the game that we're going to play against them. It's going to be a battle, and I know it is. It always is every year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Still angry about the playoff game? Or did that get brushed off a little bit by beating them last year?
Yeah, it kind of brushed off from last year, but it's still there in the air. We know it's going to be a competition, and we know we got to go into it full speed and give it all we got.
What about playing on the road? Is that a deal for you guys, or do you kind of go in liking that, being on the road and trying to get the upset?
It's always playing better at home, with our crowd and our fans, and having them back us up, supporting us, like cheering us on. But playing on the road it's different because the fans aren't behind us as much, and they're booing, and like the momentum shifts. It's like different, but we're gonna compete. We're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna go full speed and go all out every time we compete. So it's not really a big deal for us.
Lance, how good is that tight end unit? Just we've been talking about that a lot this year. Just kind of three starters in that group. You were pushed into action last year with some injuries. Just how good is that group?
No, yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely one of our strongest groups on offense for sure. And it's hard when we have three guys like that for all of us to get in as much as we can. I mean, we have three starters, like three guys that would start on any other team, and so it's just hard with how we use it. But it's exciting that we all three of us can really get involved in the run game and the pass game. I think Stetson's obviously a great pass catcher, but he's really evolved in the run game, and then Gary can also block and run routes. I think all three of us can, so it's very cool.
You have to ask Gary, just like, hey, why'd you have to come back?
No, I mean, we got a great relationship, that whole room, and yeah, it was fun last year. I mean, he got hurt like 2 weeks before the season. I was coming in as a freshman. I was like, yeah, I'll come in, learn a little, and then he gets hurt. Stetson goes down. I'm kind of thrown in there and all. Last year, I mean, I was trying to mostly focus on the playbook and just trying to do my job, really. And this year, I'm really able to just go out there and just play free. It comes naturally now.
Lance, how do you and your offensive teammates think Jacob handled his first collegiate start? Not the easiest of circumstances on the road at Howard High School. How do you handle himself?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. Like you said, his first collegiate start. I mean, he hasn't played in a while. Obviously, he's going to come in there nervous. The environment was crazy. He kind of had to get settled, and I think he did good. Like Coach Beard said, I mean, decision making, he was there. There's just maybe some things where he, some throws that he missed, but I mean, that's going to happen to anybody. I mean, he came in, and I think we can trust him to come in and do his job, and he's going to be fine.
We've been watching a lot of Jason Shelley these last few years, and you were in that offense last year. Just how much different does it feel with Jacob back there being a pocket guy and
right.
having to do some different things?
Yeah, no, it is a little different for sure. I mean, Jacob put his head down and ran a little bit too, though, which I think we were all a little encouraged by. So that he can run a little. Not the same type of run as Shelley maybe, but still similar offense, less design runs for sure. But I think we still have both. We had an explosive offense last year, and we do this year too.
What about Tennessee Martin? Just your thoughts on playing these guys again and it being the second game after Kansas. Is everybody ready and fired up for that one?
Yeah, I mean, coming off that loss just a few days ago, I mean, like you said, we're not down. We weren't humbled. I mean, we're ready to go out there and get the feeling of a win again. So we're all fired up. They're a good team. Their defense held Georgia, I think, pretty good in the first half. Obviously, they escaped later, but we're gonna have to come out and make explosive plays.
Tahj, what do you remember about the recruiting process and how you wound up at Missouri State?
Yeah, it was just like a late recruitment from Coach Cass. He called me late in the summer saying, we have a spot for you up here at Missouri State, and I just jumped on board. I was looking forward to the opportunity of being up here at a D1 school and playing collegiately. So I just jumped on, came up here kind of late in the summer. We started workouts. I had to do a little jump start to get my GPA to where it needs to be so I can play, and I did. So.
But that was the COVID year too, I think.
It was, yeah.
That's got to be a weird thing to go through. What was that like?
It was football 24/7 the whole year. It was tough. It was a lot of just commitment to football. You know, you have to really love the sport to play during that COVID year. It was just nonstop football. That's all it was the whole year round.
How have you improved as a player since that year?
Since then, I think I've grown mentally on the field, like learning the playbook more. I feel like I've gotten physically bigger and more capable of handling those offensive linemen and working around the weight and stuff like that. So I feel like I've gotten bigger and stronger and faster. So.
Lance, are you watching like Rock Bowers' film, just trying to figure out, hey, I can do this?
Yeah,
right?
literally like I didn't watch too much of the game. The first thing I did was watch Brock Bowers highlights week 1, and because that dude's a beast. I mean, I'm trying to be exactly like that. So yeah, I like watching him. He's good.
Tahj, you've been here. I mean, you go through the Oklahoma game, the first game of your career when you're here. You guys compete there with Oklahoma State, compete there with Arkansas, and just seeing kind of pain in the guys' eyes after a loss to Kansas. How far have you seen it come along in those sort of games to where you guys go in expecting to win and you're hurt when you don't against some of those FBS programs? Just the standard seems to be higher for you guys than maybe when it first started.
It doesn't matter who we step on the field with. We're going to compete. We're going to go out there. We feel like it doesn't matter. It could be Georgia. It could be Alabama. It doesn't matter. We're going to go all out, give those guys work like we normally do for every team. We all feel like we can compete with anybody out there in the world. So it doesn't really matter that they're SES or FBS, or it doesn't matter where they come from. Like, we're going to compete against them. We're going to give it all every time.
So are you saying we want Bama for the cameras there?
Not necessarily, no.